Look at your hand right now. You believe you're seeing it exactly as it is. In this exact instant, you're not. What you're looking at is already gone. The image reaching your eyes right now left the light source, bounced off your hand, and traveled into your retina a fraction of a second ago. But the real delay isn't in the light. It's in you. By the time your brain finishes processing that image and hands it to your conscious awareness, roughly a tenth of a second has already passed. You are always watching a rerun. You've just never known it. Here's how strange that actually is. 100 milliseconds doesn't sound like much, but in that gap, a tennis ball moving at high speed has already traveled several feet. A car has already covered meters of road. The world you consciously experience is not a live broadcast. It's edited footage, quietly assembled and delivered to you slightly after the fact, and your brain is doing everything it can to hide the seams. Why does this delay even exist? Because seeing is not simple. Light hits your retina and triggers a chain of chemical reactions. Signals travel down the optic nerve. Your visual cortex has to untangle edges, motion, color, and depth, and stitch them into something coherent. All of that takes real, measurable time. Neuroscientist David Eagleman has spent years studying exactly this gap between the world and your awareness of it, and his research suggests your brain isn't just slow. It's actively working to disguise how slow it is. How would a brain even disguise 100 milliseconds of lag? By predicting the present instead of reporting the past. Think about catching a ball. If your brain simply showed you where the ball was a tenth of a second ago, you'd always be swinging at where it used to be, not where it actually is. So instead, your visual system does something remarkable. It takes the trajectory of a moving object and extrapolates forward, essentially guessing where that object is right now and showing you the guess instead of the delayed reality. This isn't a theory. It's something researchers can actually catch happening. In the late 1990s, vision scientist Romy Nijawan discovered what's now called the flash lag effect. In his experiments, a moving object and a stationary flash of light appeared at the exact same physical location at the exact same instant, but people didn't perceive them that way. The moving object appeared slightly ahead of the flash, even though, measured with instruments, they were perfectly aligned. Your brain had already predicted where the moving object would be. The flash, being sudden and unpredictable, couldn't be predicted the same way, so it appeared to lag behind. You weren't seeing reality. You were seeing your brain's best guess about where reality had already moved. Is that unsettling? Or is it exactly the kind of shortcut a brain would need to survive in a world that never stops moving? Consider a goalkeeper diving for a shot. They're not reacting to where the ball actually is. By the time their brain processes that information, the ball has already moved. They're reacting to a prediction, an estimate their visual system quietly generated without ever asking permission. When elite athletes describe the game slowing down for them, they may partly be describing a visual system that's become remarkably good at this kind of forward guessing. But prediction isn't the only trick your brain uses. There's a second one, and it's even stranger. It's called post-diction, and it means your brain sometimes waits to interpret an event until after it already happened, then rewrites your experience of the moment before, as if it had known all along. Imagine seeing two flashes of light in rapid succession, one followed almost immediately by a second flash slightly offset in position. If a third event happens right after, something that gives context to what you just saw, your brain can retroactively edit your perception of the earlier flashes to fit the new information. You experience it as if you saw it correctly the first time. In reality, your brain waited, gathered more evidence, and then constructed a memory of perception that never quite matched the raw signal it originally received. In other words, your sense of what just happened is not a strict recording. It's closer to a courtroom summary, written slightly after the fact, based on whatever additional evidence arrived in the meantime. This raises an uncomfortable question. If your brain edits, predicts, and reconstructs what you see, how much of what feels like right now is actually happening right now? The honest answer is unsettling. Almost none of it. Your conscious experience of the present moment is closer to a carefully synchronized broadcast than a live feed. Your brain doesn't just process sight this way. It has to line up sound, touch, and vision, all of which arrive at different speeds and present them to you as if they happened in perfect unison. A hand clap you both see and hear at the same time didn't actually reach your eyes and ears simultaneously. Light is faster than sound, and even within your own body, visual processing and auditory processing take different amounts of time. Your brain quietly delays whichever sense arrived first, holding it back just long enough to sync up with the slower one, so your experience feels seamless. You are never given reality directly. You are given a production, carefully mixed and mastered just for you, running about a tenth of a second behind the actual world, engineered so well that you never notice the delay at all. So what do you do with a brain like this? Honestly, nothing. You don't need to. The system works exactly as it was built to. Every catch you've ever made, every conversation you followed without noticing a sound and image mismatch, every moment that felt perfectly present was made possible precisely because your brain refused to show you the raw, laggy truth. If it had shown you reality exactly as it arrived, delayed and jumbled, you would find the world nearly impossible to navigate. Instead, it built you a smoother version, timed just late enough to feel instant. Look at your hand again. You still believe you're seeing it exactly as it is right now, in this instant. You're not, and you never have been. But that small, hidden lie your brain tells you over and over might be the very thing that lets you live inside the present moment at all.